Welcome back to the Crochet Chronicles, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we have two versions of this particular headband. They're both the twisted stepsister. Now what we have here is that one is Bernat Roving and the other one is Bernat Sheepish, which has been discontinued. So version 1 is going to be the Bernat Roving, which is a thicker yarn that you'll see, and then you will also then see the Bernat Sheepish, which is a thinner yarn. So the reason why there's a difference is that their chain counts are different. So today's video, the title of this video is going to be the version that we're talking about today, and without further ado let's move on to the version that's been suggested in the video title today. So moving on to version number 2, I actually pulled my pebbled textured hat and I used Red Heart Hopscotch for that, and this color here was called Somersault. And so I was really excited about how this turned out. It's almost very natural looking even though it's a mass-produced yarn, but I really liked it. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be making the twisted headband with the same coloring, because sometimes you want a full-fledged hat and other times you just want to keep the coolness off your ears. And so what I'm going to do now is move to version number 2. Let's go back to the pattern and let's quickly talk about it, and then let's do it. So back to the pattern we go. We're going to switch off now because it's a thinner yarn, and this is what makes it version number 2, is that we are going to be using a 5mm size H crochet hook and follow these set of instructions. So you're going to notice that the chain is longer. That's because the hook is smaller than the original hook of version number 1. So let's begin our story, and let's start off, and I'm going to be using my hopscotch as I talked about earlier because the sheepish is discontinued. So let's begin our journey. I find the hopscotch goes a long way, so you probably get maybe 2, maybe even 3. I'm not sure if I get 3, but I can probably at least get 2 of the headbands out of one ball. So let's begin, and we're going to chain a total of 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So this is the thickness of it, and let's begin row number 1. In row number 1 we're gonna go 4th chain from the hook, so just count it back. So 1, 2, 3, go to the back hump of the chain, it's the 4th one away, and double crochet. And what I want you to do is stay on the back hump of the chain going all the way across and double crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. You should have a total count of 16 double crochet, and that includes that chain 3 that you just skipped over when you did that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. So please double crochet all the way to the end for row number 1. Coming all the way to the other side, I'm going to turn my work and do row number 2. And in row number 2 we're going to repeat row number 2 until the whole thing measures 10 inches. So to begin you're going to chain 3, which will count as the first double crochet that you see. So this one matches this one, so the next stitch is right there, and you're going to double crochet yourself all the way across this chain, or sorry, at this row. And we're just going to continue our story, and I'll see you at the other side of this, and make sure that you get that turning chain on the other side. So I'll be quiet for now. Now when you get to the other side, don't forget that turning chain. That turning chain is what people miss when you're new to crochet. So right here is the turning chain. So you're gonna go right into the chain itself, not to a space. So when you double crochet, go right into the chain, and that will conclude off row number 2. So what I want you to do is continue what you just learned now until this whole project measures 10 inches. So let's get our tape measure and let's talk. So usually what I do is that I get my tape measure and I just lay it in front of me here, and what I want to do is just keep crocheting, and then when I want to refer back I just like lay it down, no, yes, no, yes, no and I keep on going. So I'm going to just go back and forth in my rows until I get 10 inches done, and it will be 10 inches this way, and I'll be right back in just a moment. So I just need to do this homework first. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm back and I have my 10 inches complete. I'm going to show you a tip that I showed on version number 1. So when we go to start the next row after 10 inches are complete, I want to just chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and only do the next 7 in a row. So with the chain 3 and that 7, it gives you a total count of 16. Sorry, it gives you a total count of 8, and then 8 times 2 is 16, which is the total width of this. So you only want to do half of this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and that includes that chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull up a loop, and now grab the ball and go from the outside of the ball to just grabbing the strand on the outside. And what I want to do is that I want to continue to the other side. Now if it's variegated you may want to match the colors. I'm not going to worry about it today, but I'm going to start off with a slip knot, And starting in the very next stitch that's available to you, I'm just going to join it with the slip stitch here and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet the remaining 7 that are left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and don't forget that turning chain is the 7th one. So go right into that turning chain and then let's quickly talk and then we'll move on. So what's gonna happen now is that the headband is now gonna split into 2 pieces, which is what we want, and we want to turn our work and do the next row using each of the strands. So that strand and this strand. So let's do this next row. To do the next row, just chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the instructions it does say to do these separately, but the way that I'm doing it, it just saves you a little bit of time. So you're just going to double crochet the remaining of this piece here. So there will be a total of 8, which includes that first chain 3. Now it states in the instructions that we are going to be starting with this particular one that we're about to finish. And so what you can do at the end of this one, which I didn't demonstrate in version number 1, but what you can do is just leave it a long strand and just set it aside, because when we begin to do the crossover, that'll already be ready for you. Grab the other one now and just finish this side. So just chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet the remaining 7 that are there. And this side needs to be completed and finished all together when you get to the other side. So it's something that I learned when after I filmed version number 1. Because in the version number 1 I finished both sides and then I restarted again. So at the end of this one here, what we're going to do is just trim this long enough so we can throw it through a tapestry needle, and then we're going to then fasten it through, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. To do the tapestry needle, just put it through the eye of the needle. This is called a wool needle if you're looking for those, and you're just going to glide it underneath the stitch work about halfway back. Don't change the shape of it, so just keep it tight but not to the point where it's pulling, and go back in the other direction. This is the second time, and then third time is a charm. Back and forth 3 times, and then therefore this is ready to go then for the crossover in the next row. So get rid of that all the way, and let's turn our project here, and it looks like this. Okay, so this is how we finished it. So we finished here. So we're turning now, and this strand should be sitting right here. Okay, so get rid of any loose strands and let's begin the next row of the crossover. So right here is where I want you to start, and I'm demonstrating it slightly different than what I did on version number 1. So just chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I want you to double crochet the next 7 in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so with the chain 3 and the 7, that gives you 8. But you're not done. So now that this side is done, what you're going to do is just cross over. So just bring it in the front and take the other one towards the back like that. And now you're just gonna double crochet the last 8 that are on this side, and this will keep this twist permanently into position. So the row that I'm currently on, you're just gonna go back and forth on that row over and over and over, and as you get further into this, then you'll see that crossover get more and more solidified. So I'm at the end of the row. So that's what it looks like at this point. So you see the crossover has happened. So now you're just gonna turn your work and just mosey on along that row. Okay, it looks like that. And just chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and double crochet across. And I need you to keep double crocheting across, until you get the section to measure about 22 inches. Now when I did the other one, version number 1, I only went 21 inches. I tried it on my head and I realized that 21 was better. So you can test this as you go, and you can stop anywhere you want to. So if you want to do a smaller size, you can. So I'm just double crocheting across the top of that last row I just did. And then just go right into the turning chain. Okay, so just double crochet yourself and you can see that the crossovers happened and it looks awesome. And what I'll do is that I'll meet you right back here in just a little bit and we will get this done. So go about 22 inches or try it on, and then when you're ready to fasten off and form the circle, I'll be ready for you. So get that done and I'll see you back here in just a moment. Now once I got to the size I wanted, full disclaimer, I only went 21 inches, not 22. I tried it on and this fits me better like that. So I'm going to throw this in the donation box later anyway. So I'm going to just trim this yarn long enough so I can create a yarn tail. And I still have a lot of yarn left over. I could probably get another one out. And I want to use my hook and pull that yarn through. And I'm gonna need a tapestry needle at this point. Now when you go to do it, make sure that this looks right, and when you go to do that, see, isn't that awesome? And I'm gonna throw a wool needle on this, something I discovered last year. It's actually pretty handy. Now you're gonna go to the other side and you're gonna match stitch to stitch. This is called a whip stitch when you go right up over top. So you're going over, next stitch, next stitch. See how I kind of pull it backward and then I keep it tight with my 2 fingers. That's kind of how I like to put my pieces together. And I'm gonna do that all the way across. So I'll leave that for you. I'll meet you back here in a moment and I'll show you how to fasten off completely. Noticing that I'm going right up over top of another yarn tail that is existing there, so that it gets hidden in place, and I will fasten that off later more properly as well. So I'll see you at the end of this row. So I've come to the very end, and the last one I want to make sure that it kind of knots onto itself, so I'm purposely putting in that. Now this is gonna be the inside of this. So I want to take this and just glide it through what I just made. Okay, so once, and then a slightly different path. And if you want to tie another knot, you can. It's up to you, as long as it's hidden pretty well. And go 3 times like that. So you want to do that with any loose ends that you have. Make sure that you don't change the shape of it by pulling too tight. Now you can get rid of that. Now this is the starting strand that I had, so all I just can do with that is that I could just throw that through a tapestry needle, which I will do because I'm gonna donate this out. And so this is gonna be classified as the inside, so just fold it like that. And therefore there is the crossover right in the front, and etc. So get rid of any loose ends, and this will be how you do this step, the twisted step stitcher, this twisted step sister headband. Have a great day, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.